So, story time. Hi guys, my name is Rachel Brenneman, and I am a mentor for this Ruling Ideas class this semester, and I'm very excited to be here. For my initial introduction, I decided to tell some stories, but I also wanted to first start out with two truths and a lie. It's always a great icebreaker, and it's just kind of fun. And whoever guesses my lie first, either messaging me in some manner or replying in the thread on Moodle, I will buy them either Klein's or Mr. J's. First, I stayed a week in a closed hotel that we bribed the guard to let us into. Second, I accidentally committed voter fraud in the most recent primaries. Oops. And third, while at a birthday party, my friend threw a weight, hit me in the face, and broke off an entire tooth. So, let me know which one you guys think is the lie. So, I kind of believe that the best way to get to know someone is to listen to the stories they tell and to also tell stories yourselves. Whatever stories that people decide to tell tells you a lot about what they consider important enough to convey about themselves or to get across in general or even what they value. It's really important to really just listen to see what people say. And so I kind of just want to start off with some stories. But I also wanted to introduce my family. A family, I do have one. I think they're all pretty neat. I have a brother, and then for both my parents. So my dad has a penchant of hiding my shoes on top of the roof of the house, which then I have to go find. Then I'll get him back the same way. My brother, the guy you see kind of standing there looking all cool like on top of that rock, he's actually also an EMU student. He's graduated and he has returned to the nursing accelerated program, so we won't really see him around campus, but cool. My mother also used to be a professor here. She actually officially retired this year. Another thing you guys should know about me is that I am a Harrisonburg native. So this means I at least generally know my way around a little bit, and one of the best things that I know my way around of are the tunnels underneath Harrisonburg. Now EMU was actually what introduced me to these tunnels because I was walking around downtown with my environmental chemistry class, and my prof started pointing out where these tunnels were. And so I decided to make my entire big project for that semester revolve around the tunnels so I could figure out where they went and what was inside them. So I focused on the water quality of the tunnels and just took samples across a 4-mile stretch from EMU to JMU. But the biggest plus is that I learned what the tunnels are, because Harrisonburg is built on top of Black's Run, the stream, so they had to accommodate for it. So there's tons of tunnels that go through. I also found this fun mural down there, and I also now know that there's a tunnel that goes underneath the jail. Tons of mud down there. Thought I was going to get down there and stuck and lost forever, but I survived. Another fun thing that I haven't really talked about yet is that I am a biology and environmental science double major. And I'm especially interested in learning and hopefully in the future entering the field of conservation and restoration work. And so at this point that means a lot of environmental studies. And now this past year I was conducting a independent study on small rodent movement in park woods, so just the woods down in this area. And I was doing that by trapping mice. During this trapping I had some interesting experiences. But one of the most memorable ones is my run-in with a chipmunk. And so I had had about 2 hours of sleep because I had to check these traps in the morning before class. I did have an 8 a.m. and I had also only gone to bed at like 4 in the morning because of a lab report. I went out to check all these traps with my brain functioning very well. And I got to this one trap and I picked it up and I was like, wow, this is a lot heavier than what a mouse should be. And I was like, it's fine. And so I shook it out into this bag, hence mouse in a bag on this PowerPoint slide. But that's just how you can see what kind of mouse you have and if they have a tag or not, if you've caught them before. So I shook out this heavy thing into this bag, and out popped an entire chipmunk. And I was just kind of sitting there in shock. The chipmunk was in shock, and then it was no longer in shock. It was flipping out inside the bag, and so then I started flipping out. And I kind of just reacted the only way I knew how, especially since I just wasn't even processing anything. And so I tossed the chipmunk probably 3 feet away from me, and then I hid behind a bush and just watched it run away. After that, I was like, oh, this is great. And so that day just went even better because I went into my class, told my professor, and my entire class just laughed at me throwing this chipmunk. Another thing that I really value is laughter, especially laughing at myself and laughing at stories. I really believe that we were put on this earth to laugh and to make yourself and to make others around you joyful. And so, with that, I don't take myself that seriously. I give myself the seriousness I deserve to achieve what I want and to make sure I can get what I need to get done. But I really just kind of spend my time laughing at the hijinks that I somehow get myself into. And so I went on the Middle East Cross Cultural Spring of my sophomore year. And within that, I stayed at a Palestinian family, a host family, for about 3 weeks. And during this time, I was learning some Arabic. And I knew at least some words, enough that I thought I could at least, talk a little bit. And so my host mother was doing this beautiful traditional Palestinian embroidery. And I leaned over and I said, Jamia. And she looked at me, and I kind of looked back at her, and she's like, Jamia. I said it again. And she just kept looking at me, and then I was like, oh, I've been saying university. I've been trying to say beautiful, but I've been saying university. And then my host mother just started laughing. And then my 8th grade host brother started laughing. My host father started laughing. And it was the entire family was laughing. And it was just so funny. And even in retrospect, I realized that I'm not even quite sure if I was saying university because mosque also sounds very similar to my American ears. So I could have been telling her anything. So that's kind of it with my stories for my introduction. And I'm really excited to make more with you guys, whether it's discussing text or discussing like the ruling ideas or thoughts that we have as this semester goes on. And I'm really excited to make more stories that are worth telling to people, whether it's to make them laugh. This year is crazy, so it's going to be a great year for stories. So let's make some.